What was he on about? My body, mister, come figure it out with the Sonnet Sisters.
Neighbours, Godspeed. Welcome to Sonnet Sisters. My name is Anna and today's video is a first impressions, so blind reading and initial thoughts on sonnet number 3. I have one preconception or bit of information about this sonnet which I found in researching sonnet number 1, but I'm not going to say it just yet. I'll save that for the what is the meaning of this segment on this sonnet so that I don't spoil it for everybody else and you can kind of take this poem in unfettered. Look in thy glass and tell the face thou viewest. Now is the time that face should form another, whose fresh repair if now thou not renewest, thou dost beguile the world, unbless some mother. For where is she so fair whose unaided womb disdains the tillage of thy husbandry? Or who is he so fond will be the tomb of his self-love to stop posterity? Thou art thy mother's glass, and she in thee calls back the lovely April of her prime. So thou through windows of thine age shalt see, despite of wrinkles, this thy golden time. But if thou live, remembered not to be, die single and thine image dies with thee. Okay, so here's my rough translation into modern language. Look in the mirror and tell the face you see that now is the time it should make another face, which, if you don't reproduce it now, you trick the world and take something away from a potential mother somewhere. Because there is no woman attractive enough to diminish or overshadow your good genes. Are you really so selfish or self-obsessed that you would happily die without passing something on? You look like your mother, she looks like you. You remind us of her beauty in her youth. So you can see by this comparison or window to the future that these are your best years. But if you live to be forgotten, at which I readers choose not to make another face, you will die alone and your beauty or your face will vanish. They will die too. This to me feels like a slightly more aloof or kind version of Sonnet 1. I think the message is similar. I think it's obviously a persuasive tract on the fact that the subject should have children because they're pretty. Again, I think that one of the key differences between Sonnet 1 and this one is that this could be, it feels like it could be aimed at somebody who's already thought about having children and is perhaps unsure of when to do it. There's one bit in it which I'm a little bit unsure of because it seems a bit illogical. For where is she so fair whose unaired womb disdains the tillage of thy husbandry? I'm not sure I've read that right because it seems like an odd thing to say, you know, to say you'll never find a woman so attractive that she'll bring down your contribution to making a child. That's odd, isn't it? It's probably wrong, yeah, right. Also a bit harsh to mother because, I mean, unbless some mother is a sad image anyway, because it's almost implying miscarriage or something being taken away that is already taking away the blessing. So a blessed mother is unblessed. I'm sure it's not intended that way, but that's kind of one thing that the language evokes. The other thing is the whole thing about looking like your mother and her looking like you, except with wrinkles, and take heed and look on your mother's wrinkles and realise that this is your opportunity to make another face that is as beautiful as yours but not wrinkly and old like your mother, because you will be past your prime once you get to that age, and you will get to that age. And poor mother, I mean, people improve with age, people look nicer as they grow older, I think 40 is the new 20. Right now, I imagine this sonnet as being said to a young person by maybe a sort of crusty grandparent who has no problem telling things as they are. Maybe there are several generations of the same family present, and they're, asking the subject of the sonnet to look around them and compare their face now to essentially the same face in other ages to convince them to have kids. Maybe the young person has gone to the grandparent for advice on whether to have kids, when to have kids. Maybe the grandparent is making the assumption that the young person would like to have children, and maybe they don't. Thou art my... oh God. Thou art my... ugh.